This is First Coast Forum, a discussion of the top local issues in our community. We welcome your opinions. Email your comments or suggestions to firstcoastforum@coxinc.com. First Coast Forum is a public service program of Cox Media Group Jacksonville.
Welcome, salutations, all of those good greetings. I'm Brian Middleton, and this is First Coast Forum. Thank you for joining me. And today we have an awesome show for you. I'm joined in studio by Kim Sirdevan, President and CEO of Youth Crisis Center. And not only is Kim joining me in studio, but we also have Nina Lopez, who is also sitting down right there in the corner, off to the side, okay, just being supportive, no pressure. I wanted Nina to jump on the other microphone as well, but she's good. She's good. Like I said, no pressure here. We have Kim. We're going to be talking about the Youth Crisis Center. This should be a good show. Kim, let's go ahead and get started. All right, so Kim, tell me, how long has the Youth Crisis Center been around?
Well, Youth Crisis Center was founded in 1974, and we were Florida's first runaway shelter in the state. And we were actually founded by Gwen Yates, former councilwoman here locally. And she began a program called Transient Youth Center in Springfield, and about a 6-month project to see these children and trying to help them come off the streets. What started as a very small grant has now, 43 years later, been built into a large campus with 6 different programs.
And tell me, what's the mission of the Youth Crisis Center?
The mission is to provide safe shelter for young children and adolescents, to provide counseling services and life skills for young adults emerging into adulthood.
Kim, what got you involved in this line of work?
Well, I started at Youth Crisis Center 17 years ago. I went to graduate school for social work, so I have my master's in social work. And I actually began Youth Crisis Center in 2000 as a therapist. And so I was providing the services, direct care services, counseling services to youth that were in our programs, both serving in residential and non-residential components. And so over the years, I really just found myself learning more, wanting to be an advocate in multiple ways. And what I find with this current position as president and CEO now is that I still provide the advocacy for change with our youth and families that we're serving, but in a different perspective. And so now I look at policies and I can advocate at the state level with going to Tallahassee and meeting with local legislators. So I've seen firsthand how to work with children and families to continue to strengthen them, to provide a family unit that has the skill sets necessary to deal with crisis, now to being able to oversee the entire agency to ensure that we continue to provide the highest level of care for our children and families, which ultimately leads to a strong community.
And so, what programs do you offer?
YCC currently has 5 programs, and so we provide a variety of services really to meet many needs of the children and families in our community. We provide what we call a residential crisis care respite program, and that is really a service that's on our campus at no charge to families to really provide them a time out for their family. So the children come to our program, they spend the night. It may be for a couple weeks at a time, but they're going to counseling, going to school on our campus, and it's to provide a variety of services right there to really deal with what is the crisis in order to reunify the family. We also provide outpatient counseling services, both on our campus and in the schools. We have a full array of psychiatric services on our campus, and we also provide transitional living services for young adults who are homeless. And so those young adults live in an apartment on our campus, learn life skills training, career development. They receive mental health counseling, and the ultimate goal of that program is to develop self-sufficiency.
So let's dig a little bit deeper into the residential program. People who enter that program, how long does that usually last?
The average length of stay is about 12 days. It really just depends on what brought them to us. We serve a variety of children that come in, and so this program provides intensive counseling services. As I mentioned, they go to school on our campus every day. We have provided academic instruction through Duval County Public Schools, which is a great partnership. So for the type of child coming in, these are kids that may be on the streets, that have run away. They're homeless. They may be victims of trafficking. They may be having a dispute with their parent. And so we're trying not to have anything worse happen. And so oftentimes these children come to us by their parents, by law enforcement, however it is. We have a 34-bed program. And so the ultimate goal is to really look at what led them there and try to give them some tool sets, if you will, to better their life and figure out how can we get you back home, how can we help your family avoid another crisis, and what skill sets that they can develop for the future.
So can you tell me a little bit more about the teachers and classes involved with the program?
Well, the teachers actually assess each child. And so the teachers have to be certified really to provide any kind of grade that would be for a 10-year-old all the way up to a 17-year-old. And so they are able to come in and quickly assess the child's academic needs and provide the instruction. So it's English classes, math, science, and social studies. And so we have 4 teachers, and it's broken up into 2 sections of the day. And so they'll have 2 instructors in the beginning and 2 in the afternoon. Whatever the schedule is for Duval County Public School is the schedule we follow. So if they're doing FSA testing, then we are as well. The children receive grades, they receive attendance reports, and all of that is through the Duval County Public School. So what is fascinating about it is that if you have a child who is not on track academically or has not been attending school, they're going to have that at our campus. And so it really helps with structure. Many of our children, the therapists are able to identify if there's a learning difficulty. And so we can take that information back to the parent to say, maybe you need to schedule an appointment with someone at your school because we have found that Johnny can't read or that Johnny is really struggling in some particular area. And that might be something that can help them for their future.
So once the kid is done with the program, done with the classes in the program, and they're going back to their regular school, what is that transition period like?
It depends on the county. We serve 5 counties, so Duval and the local surrounding counties. It depends on the county as to the re-enrollment. Some counties just consider it an excused absence, and so there's no re-enrollment necessary. Some schools, you have to re-enroll them because we actually have a school number. It's 182, and so we are an identified school along with a couple other programs. I have not heard of any concerns with making that smooth transition. All of the grades and attendance reports are kept at the school board level. So if a school is requesting those records, then it just comes from the school board here in Duval County.
And tell me again, now, how do you get your teachers?
We have an actual principal through Duval County, and so he actually provides the teachers to us. And so we have a few new teachers this year, but it's been a wonderful partnership. I've been with the company 17 years, and we've always had a teacher. And I just think it's wonderful because a lot of the other programs throughout the state that are very similar to the services we provide, the kids actually go off campus for school. And that's fine, too. It just, if you can have a smaller, more intimate setting for academics when they're with you, then you can better understand what does the whole child look like, and if there are academic barriers, how can we best help you? If a child's not going to school, what are those barriers, again, of why they're not going to school? And then our expertise is to try to help that child get back into school and be successful.
So what's the follow-up like after someone is done with the classes, done with the program, and they're back in school? Do you guys ever go back and see whether or not they had an actual disability or how they're doing outside of the program now?
We do. We provide a 7-day, 30-day, and 60-day follow-up. And so we are contacting the parents to find out how their children are doing. And we actually have to enter data into a secure database system. And so I'm proud to say that upon doing our 60-day follow-up calls, looking at children that are going to school, 91% of our children are still enrolled in school and attending regularly upon the 60-day follow-up. 95% of our children are still living with their parent when they leave services. So it's working, and these kids are growing up and becoming successful through their career.
Yeah, that's successful. Wow. I never scored a 95 on anything in school. So, yeah, you guys are definitely doing great. Man, that's great. So what is Family Link?
Youth Crisis Center is the authorized agent, if you will, for the Department of Juvenile Justice. And so we provide prevention services. We're trying to keep kids from going into a system, into the delinquency system. And so between the residential program I just mentioned and Family Link, we provide counseling services for children in our community. And this service is free of charge. It can be provided to children in their school, out in the community, on our campus. It is a short-term counseling model. And we have we have 3 therapists here locally. We have 8 total that, receive referrals. Those referrals can be from families calling in to say, I'm not sure what's going on with my child, but here's what, they're doing. or we just had a death in the family and we're really, at a loss of how we can help our child. It could be from the teacher saying, I'm noticing that that the student is not performing very well. And so we receive those referrals, and our therapists will make contact with the family and provide about 12 sessions to the children and families. Even though our primary person is the child that we're serving, it definitely continues to need involvement from the family. The family needs to know how the child is doing and what can they do to ensure success at the end of the counseling period.
And how exactly can they reach out if they feel like their child does have a problem or something that needs to be looked at?
We have a 24-hour crisis line, and that number is 904-725-6662. And someone will always take their call. You can let them know what you're seeing with your child or what's going on in the family that you're questioning. And then that individual on the other end can give some suggestions as to what services would be best based on what the presenting concerns are. So whether that be Family Link, it might be our outpatient behavioral health program, residential, any of our array of services, they can make those recommendations. For Family Link, we do provide the counseling services in all 5 counties, and that's Clay, Baker, Duval, Nassau, and St. John's.
So tell me, how do the staff actually deal with, helping a lot of individuals who have a lot of different situations happening in their lives? How don't they let that affect them, not only in the workplace, but outside of the workplace?
We serve about 1,300 children a year. And young adults. And so we, through supervision, through training, are really wanting to make sure that the staff that are continually working with a difficult population or a population that they're just really and trying to pick up the pieces and help provide some guidance for, there's something called vicarious trauma. And so that is something where an individual may begin to feel as if they're impacted by the stories that they're hearing. And we take this seriously. And so that is something that we're continually talking to our therapist about, or our case managers, on how we can ensure that they're healthy as well. I always said when I was doing therapy, if you're not okay, you can't be there for your clients. So we continually check in with them. We provide weekly supervision, which means that we talk with them. How are you doing? Are there any particular cases that are really difficult that you need to process or talk through? And so we provide a lot of the guidance and the support and checking in and making sure that they are emotionally healthy to continue to serve this population of children. I mean, because you hear lots of stories and you also hear lots of successes, which, really is something that we want to make sure that we are expressing throughout our agency of how well we're doing as well, and the outcomes. And so I just really feel that as long as you are there for your staff and you can hear how they're doing and make those recommendations if they need assistance is really important.
What is Touchstone Village?
Touchstone Village was built in 2009, and it is an independent living program for homeless young adults. And so this program serves young adults 18 to 21 who may be couch surfing. Maybe their parent says, you know what, you can't continue to live here. We love you, but you need to learn some skill sets to head towards self-sufficiency. So we have 19 efficiency-sized apartments on our campus under one roof. And our goal really is to train them or provide life skills training, career development training, mental health counseling, guidance and support, teaching them how to budget, how to maintain a household. And we have about 15 young adults currently in that program. And the ultimate goal, as I mentioned, is really just to make sure that they have what they need when they're ready to transition off our campus. That some of our young folks have moved back home. They've reestablished their relationship with their parents, and that's wonderful. Some have moved away to college. We've had some go into the military or some enter into other programs. And so, it's 18 to 21 is a rough period, depending on what the upbringing has been.
Say it again.
So, we're just there to really provide some structure and guidance. We've had some great partners that have been able to help us along the way with that, which has been Jasmine and Operation New Hope, Job Corps. We've received referrals from that school. So it's been a wonderful collaboration with other community partners.
So, Kim, tell me about your outpatient program.
Outpatient behavioral health is a mental health program. So this program serves children 3 and up, including their parents. And so this is a true mental health program where you might start to see some signs of depression, anxiety, post-traumatic stress disorder. And we have a psychiatrist and a nurse practitioner on our campus. And so these services are provided in Clay County for therapy and St. Johns County for therapy. The psychiatrist is here in our Southside campus. So we also provide therapy here as well. This is a longer-term mental health program, as I mentioned. And so if a family member is struggling with any types of symptoms, they can come in and receive counseling for that. If we find that a parent is really struggling themselves and they say, I'm really not feeling, I'm having the symptoms of this, or I'm not sure, we will treat that parent as well, whether their child is in care with us or not.
Oh, wow. That's amazing. So what is Project Safe Place?
Safe Place is a national program that provides an opportunity for a child who is on the streets to be educated in our community of the yellow and black diamond-shaped sign. Safe Place means that that child is at that location. If they're on the streets, do not feel safe to return, they can walk into that business and say, I need a place to go. The staff are then trained to know what to do, which means they give us a phone call. And we then we talk to the child, what led you to be on the streets? Why are you not feeling safe to return? And we set up transportation for them to come. The transportation is through our local law enforcement. And it's really just a safe way for that child to get from that business to our residential program for us to then begin to figure out what led the child to be on the streets. What do we need to do to make sure that they're safe while they're with us? If we need to inform other folks to get involved in the situation, we can do that. But it really is to get the child off the streets, to the business, and to our facility.
Now, see, that's interesting. I didn't even know that we had anything like that. That's really cool. What about SNAP? What does that stand for?
SNAP is Stop Now and Plan. And this is our newest program. It started about a year ago. It is actually a Canadian-based, evidence-based program. This was an initiative by the Department of Juvenile Justice to pilot this program in 4 counties, or 4 circuits, rather, and we were one of those circuits. It's a 13-week group curriculum, and what I love about it is that you work with children in one group and the parents in another. So this isn't just us working with the child and then notifying the family how they're doing. The family has to participate, and we've had a lot of successes with this program. I love being able to see the families come in and talk about their concerns, and then being able to see them leave the program arm in arm and complete their graduation. But really, it's to focus on children 6 to 11. It's gender-based, meaning that we have a group for boys, we have a group for girls, because the material is a little different that we teach. And it's working with those children that are starting to show some signs of high aggression, disruptive in school primarily, acting out, behavioral type concerns. And so through the training, it is teaching these kids really how to self-regulate their emotion. And it's helping the parents to better understand how the child is dealing with stressors, and so that they can work together to ensure that their family is coping with some of the outbursts that the children have had, to eliminate that. And the reason that this is really important is that they have found that a lot of the people that have been arrested have started becoming arrested at the age of 12. And so we're really trying to focus on a program that was serving younger kids. And so we now have been doing this program over a year. We offer it on our Southside campus. We offer childcare, meals. We take about 7 children in each group. We also now offer it in schools. And so the elementary schools have been taking this into their classroom. And the model there is that working with the students now can transform an entire classroom to be able to understand it's okay to get upset, it's okay to become angry, but what you do with that is really important on what happens with choices, if you will. And so we really are proud of this. And what's been fantastic is that we've had 2 young ladies who graduated from high school in our Touchstone Village program. We did a graduation for the girls that were leaving the SNAP program, and they were able to come in and share their story and share their successes of ensuring that they completed high school. And so we had our little girls in the SNAP program dress up in cap and gowns and did a little graduation for them. And so you saw the true graduates, and then you saw us making sure that these young folks know what it's like to actually graduate by simulating that activity. And it was really great.
So how do people get involved from the community?
We do have an opportunity for a variety of volunteering, whether that's working directly with the children, coming in and providing activities, providing some kind of training for them, helping out on our grounds. beautification projects. We have an upcoming event. We're always looking for volunteers to help for that event, setting up, breaking down the items during the event. We certainly are looking for folks to be greeters. So there's always an opportunity. We have an area on our website, ycc.org, that indicates some of the needs that we have for volunteer opportunities. And we can ensure that if they just give us a call and they say, I'm just interested in getting involved, what can I do? We can better talk with them and find out what are their interests.
Great segue. What do you want people to know about your website?
On our website, we are having an upcoming event. YCC is currently rebranding, and our focus has shifted from the term at-risk youth and families more towards serving folks that have been impacted by traumatic life events. And we're really trying to educate individuals what trauma means. Trauma really is identified by the individual, and so it could be something from moving, from a loss, from abuse. It just depends. And so we just want folks to understand that if they start to see something not going so well, that they can reach out for help. And so we're having an upcoming event that's really going to describe the reason why we made this shift in our brand. So we have a new logo we're really proud of. We have a new message that we're extremely proud of. We're certified, and we really focus on what we call trauma-informed. And so it's not asking the why are you here, but what led you, to have an impact in your life and to hear your story more. And so we have really worked on how are we framing our conversation with our youth and families to let them know that we're here to try to help them. And so that event is on September 29th at noon. We have an opportunity for a new partnership with Jasmine, where we're going to be opening an emergency shelter primarily for LGBT homeless young adults. And so we're going to speak to what this program is about, why we're opening it. It's going to be on our campus. So we're having what we call a concept tour, where folks can look at what is the space and how it will be used. And that was through a fantastic donation to the Chartrand Foundation. So we're developing. We're having our newest program and hoping to have that opened maybe by the winter of 2017 or early 2018.
Kim, I'm just trying to figure out when you guys go to sleep. Anything wrong with you? Or shower or eat or chill with your family. Man, that's great stuff. Do you have anything else you want to let the people know about YCC?
We'd love for folks to come and take a tour, really just to see what we're about. I look at this as sort of the rippling effect that if you come and you better understand what it is we serve, your neighbor may be struggling with something and you don't even know, or you may just be questioning on how you can help. And so we're always open. Give us a call. Look at our website, kind of identify maybe, if there are programs that you think that your child or your family may need. If there's some way that you can contribute or help YCC, we have an area on our website. So please check out the website. Again, ycc.org, telephone number 904-725-6662, and love to hear from you.
And that is all the time that we have for today. Kim Sirdevan, President and CEO of the Youth Crisis Center. Thank you for joining me in studio today. I learned so much. If you have any questions about the Youth Crisis Center, check them out online. Do it right now. They're doing a lot of good work out there. They can use your help. And also a big thanks to Nina for being so supportive over on the side. We appreciate you too. Kim and Nina, we have to do this again. I would love to talk to you guys for a whole another 25 minutes. Hopefully we can set that up in the future. And thank you, the listener, for sticking it out with us and learning something new. I'm Brian Middleton. This is First Coast Forum.
You've been listening to First Coast Forum, a weekly public affairs program devoted to the top local issues in our community. If you have a comment or suggestion for a topic we should explore, our email is firstcoastforum@coxinc.com. That's firstcoastforum@coxinc.com. First Coast Forum is a production of Cox Media Group, Jacksonville.